Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of the major, minor, and tritone intervals video series. This is a foundational series for everyone who wants to learn, for everyone to learn, rather, just the intervals and the relationships between major, minor, and tritones. So thank you guys for joining once again. Last video we were in the key of G, so today we're in the key of A flat. So we're in the key of A flat today. So, but before we begin, just going to say a quick word of prayer. So, God, thank you so much for just everything that you've given us and done for us. Thanks for this new day. I pray for this time that we have together. We invite you to this space. I pray for the person on the other side of the screen that they're able to take and retain and learn, learn and retain everything that was taught here. And I just pray that we all become greater musicians, better people because of you and because of the gift of music that you've given us. And we just invite you to the space in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. So yeah, today we are in the key of A flat. Thank you guys once again for joining me. So I'm going to go over the scale degrees first, major, minor, and then the tritone. As far as the tritones are concerned, we'll get to that momentarily. But so in the key of A flat is going to be our 1. Okay, A flat is 1, B flat is 2, C is 3, D flat is 4, E flat is 5, F is 6, G is 7, and A flat is back to the 1. So A flat is the 1. So a lot of the previous videos in this series, I have been highlighting and showcasing the major, not the major, well, yes, the major, but the intervals of, major seconds and half steps and whole steps. So I'm going to implement and push everyone who's learning and watching these videos to go ahead and incorporate. Instead of counting single half steps to get to where we need to go, we're just going to go, it's either a whole step or it's a half step. So it's either one of those. So in the key of A flat, so we have a major second. And to get from a major second, we're going to do a whole step to begin with. So from A flat to B flat, that's going to be a major second interval. And we have that because we used a whole step as opposed to a half step. And then once again, a whole step is 2 half steps and a half step is a single, just 1 half step. So there's that. Okay, and then just like we did in the scale degree, the major scales, we do need to get from B flat to C. So instead of going to B natural, it needs to be a whole step. So not a half step, but a whole step. So A flat, B flat, and C, which is our major third interval. So we got 2 whole steps so far. So A flat, B flat, and C. Okay, and then so this is going to be our first half step right here. So from C to D flat, it's just a half step up. And then that's going to be our perfect fourth as well. Okay, so there's that. Okay, and then so we need to get to our perfect fifth from A flat to E flat. It's going to be our perfect fifth, which is a whole step. So from D flat, it's a half step, whole step. So E flat, which is a perfect fifth from A flat to E flat. So we need a minor 6 or major 6 as well to get from E flat to F. You need another whole step. So E flat, F natural. So E flat to F, and that's going to be our major 6 interval. Okay, and then to get to our 7 scale degree from F to G, that's going to be another whole step. So F to the major 7, and that is our major 7 interval. and then our last half step interval from G to A flat is just a half step up. So now we got an octave. Okay, so once again, A flat to B flat is a major second and a whole step. And then so from A flat to C, it's going to be a major third. So we need another whole step to get from B flat to C. Okay, and then from C to D flat, we need a half step, we need a half step to get from C to D flat. It's going to be a first half step in the key of A flat. Okay, and then we need to get our perfect fifth from A flat to E flat, which is another whole step. Okay, from A flat to E flat. Okay, and then so we got another major, another whole step, and it's another major interval. That's going to be our major six, which is F. So from E flat to F is another whole step. Okay, and then from F to G, it's going to be another whole step. So we need to get from F to G, right? And that's our major 7 interval. And then back to the 1, which is A flat. And then that's our octave. Okay. All right. So there's that as far as the major scale and the major intervals are concerned. Now we're going to get into the minor scale, and then the minor intervals. So they're going to be, some of them are going to be the same from the others. Some of them are going to be different from others. So A flat is still going to be our 1, B flat is still 2, but instead of C, it's going to be B natural this time. Sorry. So B flat to B, D flat, okay, D flat, and then E flat, perfect fourth and perfect fifth still. Okay, but instead of F, we're going to go to E natural. Okay, and then from E, it can't be F because that's a half step, but in the key of A flat, we need our minor 6 and our minor 7. So E was our minor 6, minor 7 is going to be G flat, and then back to the octave. Okay, so A flat, B flat, B, D flat, E flat, E natural, G flat, and then A flat right there, which is our octave. So so getting into it, so we still have our major second from A flat to E flat. That's going to be our whole step, and then we got a half step from B flat to B natural. So that's going to be our first half step in the minor scale. In the minor scale. Okay, and then from B to C, it can't be C natural anymore. It has to be D flat because we need a whole step. We need a whole step for that, and we also need to stay in our minor scale degree, minor scale. So that's a whole step from B to C. So B, half step, half step. Okay, and then we need another whole step because that perfect fourth and the perfect fifth, which is E flat, they're still in our minor scale. Okay, and then so we have our second half step from E flat to E natural. That's going to be our minor 6 interval. And then that's a half step. And then once again, we do need to get to our minor 7 scale degree. So from E to G flat is what we need. So that's going to be a whole step. So E, F, G flat. Okay, and then so after that, then we just go back to the 1, which is home for us, which is our octave. Okay, so there's that, and then for our, as far as our tritones are concerned, I um what people are to do is to find the major third and the minor 7 of whatever key you're in. So in this instance, since we already went over our major intervals and our minor intervals and whether they're half steps or whole steps and things like that, we have an idea now of how we need to try to find them. So we need to locate once again our major third and our minor 7. So we know that in the key of A flat, our major third is C, and you can find that once again, A flat to B flat, that's a major second, and then a major third. So whole step from B flat to C, that's going to be our major third. So we have that, we have to C, and then we have to locate our minor 7. So from A flat, and then going down a half step, sorry, not half step, going down a whole step to locate our minor 7 is how we're going to find our minor 7. So A flat, half step, whole step. So G flat is our minor 7 scale degree. And then when you put it together with the bass note of A flat, this is what it sounds like. And then a lot of times you can take that, you can put F sharp in the bass like we just had it a second ago, or you can place C in the bass. And when I say in the bass, I mean using it as the bottommost note for your playing. So if your bassist is on the, if he's using whatever note, instead of playing A, he could play a C. Like, it doesn't matter. You can have whatever your note is. If the bassist is playing, or if you're on organ, or if you're on keys, whatever is the lowest note that you are playing, that's going to be your root note, but still keeping in mind you're still in that same key. So C is on the bottom. C is your bass note, or you can have F sharp as your bass note. And then when I'm on organ, I mentioned this in the last video, but when I'm on organ, a lot of times I like to just take what I know, and I like to implement my ring finger and my thumb, as well as my pinky and index finger, and I like to use those two to just go those two combinations of my fingers to go up and down the scale degree, go up and down the chromatic scale, to just practice and get used to your tritones. So, and it feels weird. When I first started doing it, it was definitely weird for sure, and I had to get used to that very quickly. So but after a while, after I kept just pushing, it started getting less weird, for lack of a better term. But yeah, that's the idea of that. So that will definitely help you and be of great benefit to your playing as well. As far as a song is concerned, Satisfied by another Todd Delaney. So Satisfied, he kind of did, oh my gosh, he kind of did the same concept for the bridge that Todd Galbraith did for Better Than Good. So Todd Delaney, in his song called Satisfied, it's in the key of A flat. So I just noticed this. This is amazing. This is crazy. So In the bridge for Better Than Good, Todd Galbraith, he used a lick first, so and then used chords in there, and then he did another lick, the same, almost the same thing, and then he also went back to the 5 6 flat 7, or flat 7 4, but built on that first inversion to the to the flat 7 again. But Todd Delaney, he almost does the same thing. So he goes, and then uh uh yeah, I just noticed that. That is insane. They're both of their names are Todd. And the bridge of each of their songs, Better Than Good for Todd Galbraith and Satisfied by Todd Delaney, they did almost the same concept for the bridge. That's amazing. I just put that together. I'm so sorry. Wow. And that's y'all, I am just like really excited that I just thought of that. I have heard those two songs so many times, but that's amazing that I just literally just thought of that. It's insane. But but yes, Todd Delaney, his the bridge in Satisfied begins with a lick. 1 5 6 1 3. So and then he goes on the 5, the minor 5 to the major. Okay, so for the bass note, so I don't come off as confusing in this segment. So 5 6 flat 7, and then that's that concept where the major and the minor, they intertwine and they're interwoven together, and then they make this beautiful song. And in this case, they made a nice bridge. So 1 1 5 6 1 3, and then 5 6 flat 7. So he's using the 1 as major third, like major, the major scale degree concept. Like when he put it together with more colors in the chords as opposed to just the bass, that's what it sounded like. And then 1 1 5 6 1 1, and then I think he did flat 7 6 5. So he alternates between the 5 6 flat 7 6 flat 7, and then does a variation of that lick again, and then goes flat 7 6 5, which is so amazing. So y'all, I'm trying to get over the fact that I just now put that together. I'm just really amazed by it. It's insane. It's really insane. But I showed you that, and I showed you that to help you understand that you can use the major and the minor concepts to like just bring those in. And then for just they kind of I heard some of the ad-libbing on the keys. They do use a tritone in there, or to that's a minor, the minor third of A flat is B natural. So A flat, B flat, and then B natural. And then all I'm doing is just using the minor third, and then the fifth, and then just using like that concept, major third, B to E flat, B flat to D flat, and then A flat to B natural. But instead of doing that, I'm using the flat 7 once again, the flat 7. So we got that flat 7 right here, and then I'm making it a minor 2 chord. Okay, so in the key of A flat, here's this B major chord. In the key of A flat, B is a minor scale degree. So I'm making a major out of that, which is B flat, or a B, E flat, and G flat. And I flipped it twice. So instead of B being the root, E flat is your first inversion, F sharp is or G flat is your second inversion, and I'm taking B and E flat on the top, and I'm making it go back and forth between this B flat second inversion, B flat, D flat, F, and B is the major second of A flat, and then the second inversion of a minor A flat chord. So root is A flat, B is first inversion, E flat is second inversion. So G flat, B, and E flat. Okay, F, B flat, and D flat, excuse me, and then E flat, A flat, and B. So, and then I put it together, and that's what the ad-libbing was in that bridge that I heard, heard in Todd Delaney's Satisfied. And then, so all together, 1, 1, 5, 6, 1, 3, and then 5, 6, flat 7, 5, 6, flat 7, and then 1, 1, 5, 6, 1, 1, and then he's gonna go to the flat 7, 7, 6, major 6, and E flat, which is our 5. So flat 7, major 6, perfect 5th. So in the bass, just flat 7, major 6, perfect 5th, which is so amazing. But that was a lot. Wow, I'm just so grateful that I don't know how, like, that just came up in my mind, like Satisfied by Todd Delaney. But wow, it's gonna take me a second to get over with, because the way that I just thought of Satisfied by Todd Galbraith, it's in the key of A flat, and they have Todd Galbraith and Todd Delaney, they have the similar format for the bridge in both of their songs. It's insane. So it's gonna take me a second to just get over it. But thank you guys so much for your support today and every day, honestly, and every time that a new video is uploaded. Thank you guys so much for your support. Please like, subscribe, comment, share for more content that is upcoming. I do have a beats channel where I just make beats and I post them for leasing and purchasing. That's going to be at YouTube, on YouTube at Courtney Produces. Same thing for my TikTok handle. It's at Courtney Produces. Same thing for my Instagram handle at Courtney Produces. And I do have another Instagram that's more of my personal, but I use it as my piano teaching. It's Courtney Danny, and Danny is spelled Danie. I also have a single called Prophesy. It's an instrumental single on all available platforms and social media. Courtney Danielle Christie, and Christie is spelled Christie. If you still would love to do piano lessons, I do have that available. It's in my Calendly link. But if you're interested, email me at courtneyproduces at gmail.com, and just let me know that you're interested in that as well. But I thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for your support. And the next video will be in the key of A natural. And yeah, thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.